Hi, Bernie, third grade Bobcats. It is Miss Carlson again today. I'm outside today, so if you hear the wind blowing or hear some of the wind chimes and the birds, it was just a beautiful day to be outside today. But I'm here to talk to you more about elapsed time. So if you can remember from yesterday, if you haven't watched day one video, by the way, go watch that first and then watch this one. So elapsed time, I want you to think about how you would define elapsed time to someone around you. So what does that mean? What's the definition? What are some things you know about elapsed time? So as you do that, I'm going to share my screen and pull up our lesson plans because I really like this anchor chart. So this blue polka dotted anchor chart gives me a good definition of elapsed time. It says elapsed time is the amount of time that passes between one time and another. So elapsed time is all the time that happens between two events, a start and an end. What time do we go to recess? What time do we end recess? The elapsed time is in the middle. It's what happens and occurs between those two events. So we talked yesterday about the number line strategy, which in my personal opinion is one of the easier ones to see elapsed time. So we draw our number line, and then of course we will have our mountains, which stand for 1 hour increments. We have hills, which stand for our 5, 10, 15, all the way up to 55 minutes. And then we have our rocks, which count for 1 minute. So I'm going to show you today, I'm gonna go to our day 2 lesson plans and go to the word problem warm up. So if you've already done the word problem warm-up, I want you to follow along with me and check your work. If you have not done it, I suggest that you pause the video right now and practice it and try it on your own using mountains, hills, and rocks, and then check it with me because I'm going to show you how to do it. So once again, if you've done it, check it with me now. I'm going to show you how to solve it. If you have not, I suggest that you try it on your own on a piece of scratch paper and then check it after that. So pause the video, okay? All right, so it says, Jeremy finished playing basketball at 6:30 p.m. He played for 4 hours. What time did he start playing? So yesterday in the video, I talked about 3 different kinds of elapsed time word problems. There's the ones where you know start and end, and you're looking for the elapsed time. There's ones where you know the start time and you know how much time was spent, like with the puppy dog sleeping yesterday. And there's ones where you know the end time and you know how much time was spent, but you're looking for the start time. That's this kind of word problem today. And in my opinion, it can be a little more challenging, so I want to model it for you today. So I'm going to share screen with the whiteboard. We're gonna try this today. Oh, not that one. How do I get a new share? Okay. Hold 1 second. I guess I have to erase it. All right. So while I'm doing that, I want you to go ahead and draw your blank number line. And we've used number lines in math for lots of different things. So draw your number line, okay? We know that Jeremy gets finished playing basketball at 6:30. Now, based on what you know about number lines, are we going to put the end time at the beginning of the number line or at the end of the number line? Good. So 6:30 is the end time that Jeremy finishes playing basketball. I'm going to put at the beginning, I'm going to write the word start, but I'm going to put a question mark because we don't know what time he started playing basketball yet, but we're going to solve it together. All right, so we know that he spent 4 hours playing. So 4 hours equals elapsed time. So they give us the elapsed time in this problem. We're solving for the start time, okay? Well, okay, that was awful, but I'm trying my best with my finger. All right, so remember, after I figure out what I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna go ahead and draw the amount of mountains or the amount of hills and rocks because it helps me cross it off as I go. I'm very visual, so if you're visual, I suggest it too. So 4 hours, well, I know that my mountains count as hours. So I'm gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4 up at the top. So as I draw them, I cross them off so I know I've completed my 4 hours, okay? So here's the thing about this one. We have to start with the end. We're gonna be counting backwards. We're not adding time on, we're going backwards in time to see what time he started, okay? So it's the reverse. So focus with me on this one today. And if you have questions, please ask your teachers. All right, so 6:30 is when he started. So I'm gonna draw my first mountain. I'm going to write 1 hour. So we're not going to the next hour. We're going to the hour before 6:30. So my minutes are not changing. But what hour comes before 6 o'clock? So if I'm visualizing a clock or I have a watch on my hand, then I'm looking at the 6 and I know right before the 6 comes 5:30, okay? So remember, we're counting backwards this time. So I'm gonna cross off one of my mountains because I solved for it. All right, we're gonna solve for another hour. So no minutes are changing, so my 30 stays the same, but the hour that comes before 5 o'clock. So I go up one, that gives us 4:30. Very good, okay. All right, so I've got 2 mountains done. We're gonna do 2 more mountains. So 4:30, are my hours, are my minutes changing? They are not, so I'm gonna put this down here, by the way. Okay, so before 4:30, if I'm looking at a clock, I'm gonna go reverse one more. The time would be 3:30. And finally, I've got 1 more hour. So 3:30, 1 more hour. I know my minutes are not changing. Oops, sorry. So I've got 30 minutes. Minutes are not changing, but my hour goes back 1 more hour. So the hour before 3 is 2. So the answer to this is that Jeremy began his basketball game at 2:30, okay? And if I remember correctly in the problem, it does not say AM or PM, but we are some smart 3rd graders by now, and I know that you know this. So I'm going to say that Jeremy is probably not playing basketball at 2:30 in the morning. So I'm going to, he probably finished at 6:30 PM. That sounds like dinner time. So if I go back, I haven't changed from AM to PM yet. It was still 2:30 PM. So it was like he was playing basketball when school got out, okay? So you don't always have to put AM or PM if the word problem doesn't say it, but I think that we definitely know by now what kinds of activities happen during the day, during the evening, during the night, during the morning. So I suggest you put that as well. All right, so that is our practice for today. I want you to look back at yesterday's video if you're still struggling. Today's video had a little bit different of a word problem because we had the end in mind. We didn't know the start. But on both of our word problems so far, we've known the elapsed time. So tomorrow in the video, we're going to be knowing the beginning, the start time. We'll know the end time, but we're not going to know the elapsed time. So you'll see how we solve one of those problems tomorrow. So again, if you have any certain problems on your workbook, please circle them, take pictures, let your teachers know, and I would love to solve them for you on videos in the next coming days. I hope you have a great afternoon.